Again, I highly recommend going to their Facebook page or going to their website and watch these videos if you've never seen them. It's very, very cute. But like I said, I think, you know, 6 years ago is when Fum passed away. So we also have Toasting Marshmallows, which are camping poems. We also have a book called Hurricane, even though it's starting to get to the end of hurricane season. All right. And there's a couple kitties in here. And then last and least, we got a Halloween book. The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything. So, all right, so I am going to start with Fum and Gabriel. The book is called A Quest for Friendship. All right. And on the back of the book, it says, Fum and Gabriel, a real friendship that captivated the world. Millions of people have seen their videos from our site, www.fumandgabriel.com. We are working for the dissemination of their legacy. A cat and an owl form an unlikely bond. And then let's see, it's a scene that would make Edward Lear proud. Oh, some of these are translated, so you know how it is when you translate to a different language. A sweet video of the unlikely friendship between an owl and a house cat. So, they documented in 2011 the relationship between Fum and Gabriel by shooting videos of them in Tarragona, which is in Catalonia. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, then it's not French. It must be Catalan language. All right. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies. Aristotle, 384 BC to 322 BC. Again, it's called A Quest for Friendship. Alrighty, and here we go. One beautiful sunny morning, a little black kitten came into this land with his bright golden eyes. He saw the world as an adventure waiting to happen. On that same day, a little owlet was also born. She had white feathers like cotton all over her body. She was a barn owl who had to learn at a young age the human art of falconry. The little black kitten, due to his ebony fur, had been named Fum. Fum means smoke, since his fur is as dark as the smoke in the sky. The little owl's name was Gebra, Gebra, which means frost, and whose feathers were white before they became speckled and golden brown as she was getting older. Very, very cute little picture here of Fum and Gebra. I guess you pronounce it like eh. One day, Gabriel went out and saw Fum playing in an abandoned vineyard filled with shrubs. She thought to herself, who is that little kid playing all alone? He needs a friend like me. Fum was also glaring at Gebra, admiring her beauty. How she graced the sky, gliding through the clouds. Fum wanted to know how Gabriel could fly so elegantly. Fum shouted at Gabriel, and she swooped down to hear what the black kitten was mewing. How do you do it? can you fly?" he asked her. Gabriel laughed at the little kitten as she watched him leaping around and around on the ground between the carob trees. Fum loved watching Gabriel flying around across the fields and the blooming almond trees. Sometimes Fum climbed up the highest branch and sat with his friend Gabriel, who was perching and seeking her prey. Fum and Gabriel became friends. Gabriel said to Fum, "How can you leap so high? Can you try to catch me?" He answered, "Let's see if I can." Running across the fields, Fum was leaping up and battling his paws to try to catch his feathery friend. Gabriel smiled as she knew she had found a genuine companion. Gabriel loved hunting, and sometimes she was even hunting with Fum. They were hunting for hours, catching small prey like mice and shrews. They climbed on all the almond trees and hopped along the grassy hillsides as Fum tried to catch his friend. Are you guys hearing me okay? Arr. One day, Fum approached Gabriel, pouncing at her near some shrubs, and he smiled at her. Looking at his bright yellow eyes, she asked him, "Fum, why do you smell so sweet?" Fum had just rubbed himself in rosemary and thyme, which had made him have a special fragrance for a cat. Can you imagine that? Okay, thanks. Gabriel knew how to be patient with Fum because he was always energetic, bouncing around like a little black ball. The little barn owl with her speckled wings.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. The little barn owl with their speckled wings always kept an eye out for the little black kitten who made her smile. Fum was never alone because Gabriel was always near to watch out for him and to keep him out of troubles. At the end of the day, these friends knew they knew they looked different on the outside, but they felt the same in their heart. These two friends loved each other, and their quest together has only begun. The end. Here is the last picture, or we do have something else in here. I'll have to look at it. The settings of the storybook show some Mediterranean landscapes from the region of Tarragonis in Catalonia. Catalonia. Natural environment of our real friends, Fum and Gabriel. So that's a little bit about Fum and Gabriel. Again, I highly recommend you seek out their Facebook page or go to fumandgabriel.com so you can look at the videos. Like I said, Fum was not old when he passed. Might have been like 3 or 4. I don't exactly remember what happened, but it was actually very shame because, then of course the great videos stopped. So the next book is called Toasting Marshmallows, Camping Poems. Okay. So those of you who have been here for Catstock, usually Jackie would have the night before uh, little toasting of what do they call it? Something pies. Basically you put them in the fire, and you put them together, and pudgy pies. That's what they're called, pudgy pies. All right. Toasting marshmallows, camping ones. Tent. First, smooth dirt, no rocks or roots. Next, sharp stakes, poles, strong nylon rope. Shake, snap, billow, woof, settle. Tug, pull taut. Our tent is up, blooming, bright orange. And the little poem here is in the shape of a tent. Hi, DeWitty. Next poem is called A Doe. Stepping timidly out of the thicket, she trembles then stills, poised mid-quiver. You're welcome, Ms. M. We don't move, we don't even whisper. She's almost close enough to touch. Velvet ears swivel, slim spindled legs turn. A silent shiver fading into dusk. And here is our doe. Scooter. At home, our dog snores, loose-boned, easy, sprawled between fireplace and couch, losing himself in tennis ball dreams. Here, by the campfire, he's tightly coiled, a thin, tense spring snarling into the night, hackles lifting his leather collar. Tonight, Scooter is timber wolf. Campfire, warm front, cold back. I turn around, warm back, cold front. I turn around. I lean against Mom, my head on her shoulder. Warm all over. So here's the pictures of the campfire. There's the doggy Scooter, and then there's the campfire. Next one is called Sleeping Bag. It's so cold outside, I'm getting dressed inside my sleeping bag. I wriggle, scooch, scrunch, and jiggle. Flop, front flips, back flips. I'm a caterpillar in a cozy cloth cocoon that zips. Breakfast. And there's a picture of a chipmunk that I'll show you after I read this. This chipmunk doesn't dine, does not idle, does not linger, has no time for chits and chats, nibbling bits of this and that. Then suddenly, a chipmunk dash past my feet, a fairy flash, sneaks a piece, races back, chewing fast, a pancake feast in chubby cheeks. So here's the sleeping bag, and here's the chipmunk eating breakfast. All right. Next one is called The Best Paths. The best paths are whispers in the grass, a bent twig, a token, a hint, easily missed. The best paths hide themselves until the right someone comes along. The best paths lead you to where you didn't know you wanted to go. Abandoned cabin. Standing where the door once was, I look inside, surprised to have a guest. Something scurry hides in hasty scrambles to a hidden space. Between the chinks of a crumbling fireplace, the ceiling is sky blue, powdered with cloud. Someone's entertaining an elegant crowd in Queen Anne's lace. Bars of sun run across the dirt floor, carpeted in damp green moss. Leaning in through the window, a pine bough. There's more sky than cabin. The forest lives here now. So if you look at this picture, this is the abandoned cabin. But then you can see the Queen Anne's lace right here. And then you see the little birdie up, by myself. I might sit here all day, listening to aspen leaves ruffle, watching the quiet things, waiting to see what happens. I might sit here all day until I see 17 jays and the beetle reaches the pine, until the panther cloud crosses the sky. I might sit here all day by myself alone, quiet and still, silent as stone. Storm. Late in the afternoon, the wind begins to blow. Whistle sharp, wet and cold, whitecaps lace the lake. Uneasy, the birds dart from tree to tree as heavy black clouds rumble toward us, an oncoming train hauling a thunderous load of storm. Rain. So just imagine you're out there and the weather is coming in and the lake is getting stormy, and you can see the everything dark, and you get that little wind before a storm. So I think that's fun. Rain dance. It was dry under these leaves until a confetti of birds in the wet leaves danced. Another rain shower. Mosquito song. It's me, mosquito. Is that you, dinner? Greetings. Toasting marshmallows. I am a careful marshmallow toaster, a patient marshmallow roaster, turning my stick oh so slowly, taking my time, checking often. This is art, a time of serious reflection, as my pillowed confection slowly reaches golden perfection. My brother grabs them with grubby hands, shoves them on the stick, burns them to a crisp, cools them off, flicks soot, eats quick. I'm still turning my stick. He's already eaten 6. All right. Next one is 2 voices in a tent at night. Shh! Something is scratching on our tent. Is not. Is 2. Is not. Scratching, scratching, scratching. I don't hear anything. Something is scratching. Go to sleep. It's you. Stop it. No, it's not. It's a branch. Is it you? Isn't it? Okay. Okay. It was me. Wait. Something scratching. Listen. Told you so. Scratching. Shh. Are you doing that? No. 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 Think it's the dog. I hope so. Eavesdropping. Tipping a slender silver ear. Moon tries to pretend she isn't listening to our secrets. So, just think of the nice darkness out in the forest, and notice that the eavesdropping poem is in the shape of a crescent moon. Max's Bait Shop. Faded snapshots of folks without the fish they caught at this lake. Talk is short here. Any luck? What's biting? The lucky ones lie, saying, well, not much. Fishing lures powdered with dust, red and white floats, hand-tied flies. Next to candy bars, stale potato chips, a jar of beef jerky, icebox with cheese sandwiches, sodas and stuff, next to the worms in cardboard cups. Gone fishing. No one else was awake when we got up at dawn to go fishing. Walking the steep path down to the lake, we could see the circle flop and splash of trout. I warned my little brother not to go too close to the edge. He said, you can't tell me what to do. No one else was awake when we got up at dawn to go fishing. All I caught was one little brother, hauled up out of the cattails, sputtering, soggy, and still stubborn. The next one is called Rowing to the Island. Mom and I row, and row, and row, leaving the shore in our wake. Such hard work, pulling an island across a lake. Next one is called Wild Mustard. Let me see how many pages. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got about 10 more pages. Wild Mustard. Sweeps of wild mustard swinging up the hillsides as far as I could see. Yellow waltzes, yellow weaves, yellow invites me to wade in up to my knees. Yellow hums, yellow sings, yellow dances with dizzies of bees. Forest walk. I am practicing my I belong here. No twig snap, no leaf rustle, no branch crack, see all, know all, float like fog, like smoke. Pine needle soft forest walk. Hi, Amelia. No one will know I'm coming. No one will know when I am gone. Cave. The cave breeze, icy and ancient, measuring time with snowdrips that echo as water hits granite. Somewhere deep in this cavern, we step over a underground stream that carved hollow pools, filled with strange pale fish, swimming with blind up black passages in this alien underground land. I hold my breath, slip my chilled fingers into Dad's warm hand. All right, next one is called Old Truck. Just off the path is a 54 GMC flatbed with 4 flat tires, tightly wedged with heavy rocks and cinder blocks. They're stiff, but the doors aren't locked on an old truck who's going nowhere again. Her chrome grill is a shy, wistful grin. Her fading paint peels in rusty scabs. My brother and I climb into the dusty cab, pat her cracked seat, stow our gear. Wonder who left her here, high on this mountain, broken down alone. Guess it's up to us to drive her home. Next one is called Moose Brunch. A moose couldn't care less that tourists stopped to gawk, back up traffic for miles. Broad shoulders, humpbacked, an awful scaffold halfway between a camel and a horse, with a bit too much of everything. Uh-oh. Hide your stuff. She's here. A moose couldn't care less. Just don't come too close. He's content to stand knobbly knee deep among the river reeds, dunking his huge head, munching daintily on wet green weeds. Again, this is the Moose Brunch. All right, next page is River Messages. River words run in scallops and scribbles, scrolls of eddies and watery ripples. I throw a pebble, skip a telegram across the river which never stops. River writes, river talks. Someone upstream is throwing rocks. Alrighty, so the Pudgy Pies is basically you put you basically butter 2 pieces of bread, and then you stuff it with you could stuff it with peanut butter or no, not peanut. Sometimes they stuffed it with pizza, pepperoni, cheese, and you sandwich them together in these little things. You put them in the fire, and it basically cooks in the fire. When they come out, they are really, really, hot. So, give me 1 second. I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm just going to get a drink. And what do we have? Magic, what should I drink? This is probably not going to be the best choice because it is almost 8:30 and I probably will be going to bed in a couple hours. But Diet Mountain Dew. So that was River Messages. Hello, Canby. The next one is called Flashlight. Dark night, rocky path. Flashlight beam shows me the way. A round stepping stone. Green bug on my book, pushing his long, important shadow up the page. Inside the flashlight, round beam, one wide open eye staring back at me. The bobbing circle of light coming up the path, bringing my father. And the next one is called Al. I hear you, Al. Your one lone vow drops like a stone in night's dark pond. In an almost echo funnels round a hollow sound. I hear you, Al. The wind rush of your wings shouldered and spread, pleading the night the satin flap of your feathered cape. Al, I hear you. I am awake too. So here's the 2 poems, and here's the flashlight and the owl. And that is not Gabriel either. Okay, next one is called Sleeping Outside. Small me in a small tent, staked to a huge planet, rolling slowly through open space, alone. Small me, still wide awake, under a wide starred sky. Almost, almost feeling the earth turning. You know, when I would do camping or whatever, and I would look up at the sky and I see all the stars. Sometimes, if you look on the horizon, sometimes you can see just a little bit of the diameter of the Earth. You know, just a little bit. Anchored outside our tent, I could see gray spiders spinning silver, looping silky lines through smoky wisps of campfire, coffee steam, and early morning mist. An aerial tramway stretching bright and high into the tree, firmly anchoring our tent. We will have to stay at least one more day. So, here is the tent, and here is the spider web, and there's the spider. Pulling up stakes. The fire is doused, the coals are cold. The tent collapsed, the car packed. I find 2 rocks, one to keep, one to hide, in my secret place, to say I was here, to say I will be back next year. All right, the last one is called Flannel on here, which is interesting because we fostered a kitty last year named Flannel. Flannel was a brother to Dickens/Dune. Red and blue plaid, pockets with buttons. My camping shirt is flannel, worn, soft, pine smells, campfire, forest moss. I keep it hidden in my bottom drawer where no one will find it and wash away my memories. So this is toasting marshmallows. So you can almost feel the outside when you read that. All right, I think I'm going to do the next one. The little old lady who was not afraid of anything. All right. This one should be fun because it's a Halloween book. So here is a picture of the little old lady who was not afraid of anything. To Charles L.W., to my parents, with love and gratitude, M.L. Once upon a time, there was a little old lady who was not afraid of anything. One windy afternoon, the little old lady left her cottage and went for a walk in the forest to collect herbs and spices, nuts and seeds. She walked so long and so far that it started to get dark. There was only a sliver of moon shining through the night. The little old lady started to walk home. Okay. Suddenly, she stopped. Right in the middle of the path were 2 huge shoes. And the shoes went clomp, clomp. "Get out of my way, you two big shoes. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady. And she walked down the path, but behind her she could hear the two shoes go clomp, clomp. A little further, the little old lady stumbled onto a pair of pants. And the pants went wiggle, wiggle. "Get out of my way, you pair of pants. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady. And she walked on, but behind her she could hear the two shoes going clomp, clomp, and the one pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. Farther still, the little old lady bumped into a shirt, and the shirt went shake, shake. "Get out of the way, you silly shirt. I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady. And on she walked, a little bit faster, but behind her she could hear two shoes going clomp, clomp, one pair of pants going wiggle, wiggle, and one shirt going shake, shake. A little ways on, the little old lady came upon two white gloves and a tall black hat. And the gloves went clap, clap, and the hat went nod, nod. "Get out of my way, you two white gloves and you tall black hat. I'm not afraid of you," she said. And on she walked, just a little bit faster. But behind her, she could still hear two shoes going clomp, clomp, one pair of pants going wiggle, wiggle, one shirt goes shake, shake, two gloves going clap, clap, and one hat go nod, nod. By now the little old lady was walking at quite a fast pace. She was very near her cottage when she was startled by a very huge, very orange, very scary pumpkin head. See the pumpkin head in the upper right-hand corner? And the head went, "Boo! Boo!" This time the old lady did not stop to talk. She did not stop at all. She ran. But behind her she could hear two shoes go clomp, clomp, one pair of pants going wiggle, wiggle, one shirt go shake, shake, two gloves go clap, clap, one hat go nod, nod, and one scary pumpkin go boo, boo. The little old lady did not look back. She ran as fast as she could and didn't stop to catch her breath until she was safe inside her cottage with the door locked. She sat in her chair by the fire and she rocked and she rocked. It was so quiet in her cottage before the knock, knock on the door. Should she answer it? Well, she was not afraid of anything. So she went to the door and opened it. What do you think she saw? You know what she saw? Two shoes go clomp, clomp. One pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. One shirt goes shake, shake. Two gloves go clap, clap. One hat go nod, nod. And one scary pumpkin head go boo, boo. "I'm not afraid of you," said the little old lady bravely. "What do you want anyway?" "We've come to scare you." "You can't scare me," said the little old lady. "Then what's to become of us?" The pumpkin head suddenly looked very unhappy. "I have an idea," said the little old lady. She whispered into the pumpkin's ear. The pumpkin head nodded, and its face seemed to brighten. The little old lady said good night, closed the door, and whistled on her way to bed. The next morning, she woke up early and went to her window and looked out into her garden. What do you think she saw? Two shoes go clump, clump. One pair of pants go wiggle, wiggle. One shirt goes shake, shake. Two gloves go clap, clap. One hat going nod, nod. One scary pumpkin head going boo, boo. And scare all the crows away. And that's the end of the book. Clomp, clomp, shake, shake, clap, clap. All right, the final book that I have for tonight is called Hurricane. I thought, we probably want to read this while it's still hurricane season. So, and if you notice in the picture, there's a kitty cat. And then here's another picture of that same kitty cat. All right. "I can't find Hannibal anywhere, Mom," David said. "I thought he'd be home when we got back from the store." "I'm sure Hannibal is all right," Mom answered. "Cats know more about storms than people do. But if it will make you feel better, why don't you and George go look for him while I put the groceries away? Don't go too far from the house, though. Your father will help you look as soon as he's finished securing everything in the yard." Thank you. No kitty on that page. "There he is," David exclaimed. He and George peered through the gaps between the strips of tape they had put on the storm door. A thoroughly wet Hannibal peered indignantly back at them. "Let's get him inside before the wind blows him away," George said. "Could the wind really be strong enough to blow Hannibal away?" David asked. "Well, the radio said we could expect sustained winds of 50 miles per hour, gusting to 90 any time now. And the hurricane is still 50 miles off the coast. Look at the leaves out there. It looks like a green blizzard," George answered. David listened to the walls of the house creaking against the wind. "If it's like this now, what's it going to be like when the hurricane hits?" Suddenly, the lights went out. "Nobody panic," their dad called from the kitchen. "The electric lines must be down. Hang in there, boys. We're on our way with flashlights and candles." And there's the Hannibal the kitty in the arms. All right. They had supper by the fireplace that evening. It felt safe with everybody together. Even though there were creaks and groans and sometimes great roaring sounds coming from outside, the hurricane was in full force. David and George took a hurricane lamp to bed with them. The storm had begun to ease. "Maybe the eye is passing over us," George said. "I like to be in one of those weather planes, the one that flies into the eye of the hurricane, where it's all calm and peaceful." "Yeah," David said, though he wasn't so certain he'd like flying into a hurricane. "I wonder where the birds are now, and the squirrels. I bet those squirrels are holed up in their trees. But I've read about birds being blown thousands and thousands of miles, maybe even clear across the Atlantic," George said. "And do you see the kitty under the covers?" "Do you think anything awful has happened outside?" David asked. "Who knows? We'll see tomorrow," George replied. The next morning, only one elm tree was standing near the corner of the yard. The day before, there had been two. The downed tree was lying across the neighbor's lawn. "Look at that," David said. "It could have hit Mr. Wilbur's house, and we didn't even hear it fall." "Wow, this is great," George said. They circled the tree. "It looks like a sleeping giant." "Look at those big limbs and branches. It's like a jungle. Let's play safari. We never had a jungle to play safari in before." David didn't wait for an answer. He was already climbing the fallen tree. I am going to come over here for a little bit because sometimes the stool wreaks havoc on my back. David fearlessly led the expedition into the very heart of the jungle, stalking the mighty leopard. There's some stalking going on here too. You can't really see it, it's off camera, but you know, two kitties getting involved. That afternoon, they rode the 7 seas with George at the helm, while David searched the horizon for pirate ships. All the next day and the day after, they journeyed to the stars and beyond. Sometimes they just sat and enjoyed the view. The tree was a private place, big enough for secret dreams, small enough for shared adventure. "What will we do this afternoon?" George asked. "I don't care," David answered. "It just feels good being here." Then it happened. They woke one morning to an ear-splitting roar and the sight of men advancing on the tree with chainsaws. "How could they do this?" David asked. "It's our tree." "It's our tree, but it's in Mr. Wilbur's yard. I guess that's how they could do it." "They didn't even tell us," David said. feeling as miserable as he had ever felt in his life. "It was a great tree," said George. "Yeah," David agreed. "A great tree." David and George spent the rest of the day sitting under the surviving elm, watching the men haul away their tree. In the late afternoon, the sky grew dark. The thunder... Ooh. Hey! Hey, 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 hey. Break it up. Break it up. It's okay. Wow, those ears were really far back. Okay. So, I think we broke it up. Oh, boy. So David and George spent the rest of the day sitting under the surviving elm, watching the men haul away their tree. In the late afternoon, the sky grew dark and thunder rumbled in the distance. "Hey guys," Dad said, "there's going to be a storm. The wind's kicking up. Come on inside before it starts to rain." David and George looked up at the old elm. "This is a great tree too," David said. "Yeah," George agreed. "And if it fell, it would land in our yard." And that's the end. So that's a book called Hurricane. It's a nice little story about, you know, sometimes what happens in the aftermath of a hurricane. "Methinks the lady doth protest too much." You know, this reminds me, I don't know if you guys remember, there used to be two cats here that used to wrestle all the time. Coca-Cola and Audrey. And Coca-Cola would start all these little fights and then start whining and complaining and, yeah. They actually were adopted together, Audrey and Coca-Cola. "Where you going, Nyota? Nyota." So that was 4 books. I'll have some more next week. I'm hoping to have another Halloween book by next week. Nyota. Nyota. Hey. Hey. That kitty is still growling. Where were you? Pontia. Hi, Pontia. Hi, Maryland. There we go. Everything is okay. Everything's okay. There we go. Here's the growler. Here's a growler. It was purring a little bit when I picked you up. There's a little purring. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for listening. Growl, growl, growl. Very fierce kitty. Isn't a little fierce one. Where's a little fierce one? You don't have to worry. You're in a good place. You know that. Now, Lucy, Ramsey is sleeping. Hi there. How you doing? What are you doing? You enjoying this? Hmm? Is this soothing your soul? Hmm? Bless you. I'm going to put you down now. But I want to put... Whoa, bless you. I think that went into my eye. I'm going to put you down here. So this way, you don't have anybody bothering you. All right, everybody. I am going to roll out of here. I will be back next week. I have a lot more books now. I ordered a whole bunch. Some of them are not the right books, though. You know, they're like kindergarten level, and I don't think I want to read those, especially because it'll take like 2 seconds. I might as well have just gotten a pop-up book. All right. Have a good night, everybody.